Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's a sunny, beautiful day here in the Okanagan Valley. And I came up with an idea. I wanted to, well, grab one of these trucks. These are three of the trucks I bought from the Shoal collection, and I kind of cheated. I didn't bring these ones all the way home. I dropped them off at my buddy's place about an hour, well, south of me, and so I brought them 2/3 of the way. And making that little shortcut was kind of how I was able to get all of them home in that 2.5 days or whatever it was. So I just sold the little 68 green C10, little 6-cylinder truck. And found it a happy forever home. And so I'm ready to, well, start another one. So I'm down here to grab one of these. And what do you guys think? Which one should I take? Ener, meaner, biner, mo, catch a, yeah, right? Well, it isn't that easy. This one has been sitting a very long time. It's going to need quite a bit of work, I think, to get going, or just more work, let's say. And I had to beat the front drum off of it. Doesn't mean you can't drive without brakes, but you know, it's been sitting longer. That one's not been running for a good while. And the short bed, it's just such a mystery. I don't know what's going on with that one. I can't tell if it was running 5 years ago, 15 years ago, or ever at all in this current state it's in. So that leaves us, well, with the GMC. And I'm going for this one because I know this truck was a runner. Last time I visited Dell when he was still kicking, he had this thing kind of putting around his yard there. And it was mobile. I don't know how roadworthy it is, but this one ran. I don't know if this one runs. I don't know if that motor's locked up or not. Again, don't know what that one's got going on. So we're going for the GMC. So here's the goal. We're going to get this thing running and drive it 1 hour home. So if you guys watched the video on me bringing these trucks home and you saw this one, you of course know that, well, it is a big block V6 truck, right? Now all you guys in the comments that are, oh, 305 is not a so big block V6. Yeah, there was. Hop on Google there and learn yourself, or watch this video and learn a little bit. This is a GMC motor. It is a V6 and it is a big block. And I just actually found out here, I saw some really cool paperwork, which we're going to get into later here in the video, in the cubby of the Buddy Buckets, that this actually is 351. It's a bigger one. So they had 305 and 351 in light duty trucks, and this is the 351. So 351 cubes, just 6 cylinders. You can see this thing is big. It just takes up the whole engine bay from front to back. You know, it's a big motor. They have a large footprint, and they're very tall. They go way down. Big block V6, truly industrial and commercial. These went in a lot of tractors, went in a lot of generators. Just these things were workhorses. Grunty, low compression, torquey. You know, they're not strung out. They're very unique. And they had a good run, and this is right towards the end of it. They only made them for one more year after this, 1969, in the light-duty trucks. This, of course, being a 68. So, yeah. So we got some stuff going on here. It's got a Holley on it. That is not factory. They had little tiny, gosh, what the heck? They're Stromberg carburetors, I believe. I'd be goofing that up. I had one of these trucks last year, a 67 GMC half-ton, and it was all factory with the factory carb, and I rebuilt it. I believe it's a Stromberg, and just a little tiny little 2-barrel. And this has got quite a bit bigger, of course, Holley 2-barrel on it. Basically half of a 4150, I believe, is what we got going on here. I brought very few parts and kind of supplies with me today. I brought some fluids, I brought a set of points, and I brought a little box of tools. So I'm being kind of wishful and, well, pretty hopeful here that this is going to work. And we'll see. I know it was running in about 2021, so 4 years ago this thing was running. Maybe 2022 it was running, you know, maybe 3 years ago, but definitely been sitting for a bit. And I've got some flat tires I didn't account for or expect. These ones were not flat when it was sitting down there. I moved it, and now these are flat, so I've got to find a way to get air in those. I didn't bring my air compressor. I brought very little with me, let's put it that way. This truck had flat tires, and now they're holding there, so we got some other ones over here. I could put those on here, but we don't got all the lug nuts. They're not all the right lug nuts that are with those wheels. So I'll worry about the tires later. I haven't got the thing running yet, so, but we got that to sort out, so we'll see what we can make happen there. Yeah, I just threw this battery in it. The battery cables are kind of goofy. They're kind of awkward length. This is the positive. I think it was meant for the battery to be flipped around. Maybe I will fit. No, it won't fit flip around because this is too short. I think this will be fine though. I think get this thing to turn over. Come on, baby. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. 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 I don't have a. The battery's good, but it's not the greatest. So I don't want to turn over a whole bunch. Locking gas cap. Luckily, had the key on the key ring still. I hate locking gas caps. They drive me nuts. But this one's got it, and hopefully, this is the tank that's being used. Smells a little rotten. Smells a little rotten. I have to get underneath the truck and make sure it's going to that one because we've got other ones kind of scattered across the truck. Yeah, a bunch of rally wheels I bought too. So okay, I'm gonna make sure this is the tank is hooked up before I throw my 5 gallons of gas that I brought with me in there. All right, so I just crawled underneath the truck, and the other 3 gas tanks are plumbed in still too. So I don't know. The switch was kind of non-existent over here. Not still. Yeah, it's kind of got me worried. I did bring a little bit of fuel line. It's the one thing I did bring, so I could just bypass it. But maybe this tank is bad. Maybe it's running off one of these instead, you know, or has been more recently. And this has more rotten gas in it and more rust and junk. So, So I think what I'll do, I'm going to throw a little bit of gas in here, just a couple gallons, and assumingly this is running off this tank and not the saddles right now, and just see what happens. Pour a little bit down the carb, see if I get it to sputter, fire off, and if it'll run, stay running, then we can assume it's off of this tank. And if, I mean, not, it's gotta be from one of the other tanks, right? So, the switch is just, that's here, is not giving me anything really to go off of. It's like the selector's broken, and certainly I'm gonna bypass all this stuff, but I would just bypass it right now if I knew this tank was good. Maybe this tank isn't good and this one is, and it's running off this guy right now, and it'll get me home on this but not on that. And so I got to kind of find out which tank it's kind of running from here, but without having that, this is not what I tried to think everything I could kind of maybe run into, and did not think of this, of course, and I'm an hour from home. So, well, let's just see what happens. Pour a little bit of gas on the carb and see what she does, see if she fires off. All right, I threw a little gas on the carb. Let's see what happens here. Choke looks like it's already pulled out a little bit. Come on, baby. Good girl, come on. All right, so I got this thing to bump over a couple times there and fire off, and it seemed like it's not getting fuel to the carb, which has got me nervous, because here's this deal. I might have also picked the dumbest one to try and do this with, because you can't get parts for these things. I just seen this too. We got a loose, bad water pump bearing, out there on the shaft of the water pump. So I'm gonna ignore that, because that's the least of my worries, because this thing doesn't even run yet still. But that's no good, because nowhere in the United States is just gonna have a water pump sitting on the shelf. So as well as a fuel pump is also hard to get. So I'm hoping the fuel pump isn't bad. It might be. But I know he had this thing putting around the yard, so it would have been bad in the last couple. I just pulled this off, and there's nothing. But I had a little bit of sediment coming out of there, so ain't got no fuel. So I'm gonna try to see if I turn it over here for a bit. I don't want to run this battery down. If I can get fuel to come out of basically here. Got nothing. I just turned this thing over for a little bit, and nothing's coming out. So that is no bueno. That is no good. Not good. All right, so in my quest to kind of single out what tank this thing is trying to run off of, I just smelled these other two, and they smell super rotten. Way more rotten than this one. So I really think this is what it's running off of. But I think I might just bypass it or two and run that little hose now. Just kind of shortcut it right over. Because just to rule that out and to know that I've got fuel trying to come from this tank to the engine. And yeah, hopefully the pump starts picking it up. So other thing I could do is I could run a hose to that deal and just run it off that tank like a little auxiliary tank. But if this pump ain't pumping, we're shit out of luck. I didn't bring a little electronic pump or nothing to get by, and we just are not going to find one of those at this parts store here. So I'm already singling that out as not a possibility. So this might be a bust. This might be a bust. I'm not throwing in the towel. We're not having any luck here, but hoping this will kind of change its tune and start picking up fuel here. Yeah, I don't know what to really say about it. Yeah, please pick up fuel. Well, as you guys see there, it was running. So, well, I can't even really tell you what was going on with it. It just seemed like the pump didn't want to really prime. And we, well, I kept trying it and it finally did. I actually even went inside and pulled the setting unit out of the gas tank because I was concerned towards that being the case of maybe it has a plug sock or something like that, but it was free and clear. And I did bypass the auxiliary fuel tanks and the switch over here, everything. So it was just that tank right to the frame rail, right to the engine. After a couple more tries, all of a sudden, it just decided to pick it up. So ran it here for about a half hour. Thing warmed up. The carb leaked a little bit, and I tightened these front bolts up. We got a small little leak there, kind of still happening. I'm gonna keep an eye on. I stole the air cleaner off of the 67 here. Looks like it was made to be on this thing. And I threw a little Lucas in the Lucas transmission additive. It's nice and full, it appears, and smells pretty good. I just thought, why not? Topped off the brake fluid, topped off the oil, and yeah, we're gonna, well, hit the highway. I borrowed Monty's air pump here. We got some air in the tires, and well, I think it's as good as it's gonna be and for what we got in front of us, and try to see if it'll make the hour drive home. Well, we're on the open road. You can hardly see out this windshield. It looks better on camera than it does in person. You can almost actually just look at it through the camera. How dangerous is this, right? We've got one front brake. We got a left front brake, it feels like. I got nothing else. Yeah, we're going for it. We got some shaky tires. It's being a little turd. It died on me there and I had a hard time getting started again. I think it sucked something up in the idle jet. But yeah, I think this is the first time this little girl's actually been on the road in a while. I think they had it just kind of putting around there in Dell's yard. And yeah, these tires are shaking apart. Everything is rattling. Kind of driving here almost like Ace Ventura. I got my head out the window so I can see better. Wipers, I don't dare almost even turn them on. They're like turned to dust. So I think we're just gonna hightail it to the first gas station here and grab some Rain-X and we'll be rocking and rolling. But yeah, okay, like 2 miles in, 48 to go. Like she is shaking herself apart. I think it's just the tires, but the engine's running smooth. But yeah, it's got something unhappy. It's got a tire, I don't know, something going for it. Check out that tack though, it's pretty cool. Cruiser Marine, it's got a boat tack. Makes sense, because this is like a tugboat motor. That's what it feels like. It's running really good. It's hitting on all 6, not all 8, all 6. Big block V6, cruising along. All right, okay, we're about 5-6 miles in, almost to the gas station. I got this thing cruising at a very happy cruise seems to look like 45 miles an hour. Any faster and it shakes more than I'm comfortable being behind the wheel of. Chelsea just messaged me and says this thing stinks. I think it's just rotten gas. There's kind of like a rubbery smell though too. I don't know what that's all about, but we're almost to the gas station, so we'll check out what's going on there. It's not running hot for the temp gauge. Oil pressure isn't the greatest, but I mean it is only at 2,000 RPM too, so it's got oil pressure. It's got it. It has it. Not a lot, but it's got some. So those brakes are sketchy. I went to go start slowing down, turn off in here, and the one brake works really good. Oh boy. Got the idle turned up. Like I was saying, it died on me there. I was just getting ready to leave, and it died on me. I had a hard time getting it going. Like it sucked something up in the idle circuit, so I got it idled up and kind of trying to clear itself out. It's having a rough time idling, so I don't dare shut it off. It's been a turn to get going. The battery is like dead. Chelsea's my chase truck. She's following me in her Suburban there. She drove me down here for this whole endeavor, and we got it re-jumped and started and on the road here, but I'm not shutting off until I get home is the goal here. So we'll see how that goes. What does it smell like?
Oh my shit. Really bad.
Like bad gas?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Seems to be idling better now. I just turned it down. The car quit leaking. It was leaking a little bit there at the front, so. Alright, leaving the gas station. Topped it off. It's got, well, mostly fresh tank of fuel now. Maybe still some bad gas in there. See if it runs a little better here. Got about 45 miles ago. 40 miles ago. I tried pumping the brakes too, so I get them to kind of work a little bit better there, but no dice. Leaving an extra safe distance between me and the motorist in front of me. As for, I have one front brake. God, it's getting worse. It must have a pop line or something. We're gonna be downshifting to slow down here in a bit. Always head for the ditch, I guess. All right, this is my last stop light here on the path home. So really the rest is a straight shot. I actually don't have this. I have one more stop sign I would have to hit to go take this thing right to the show. Oh, green. Green means go. Yeah, baby. The flat spots have kind of seemed to work themselves out in the tires a little bit. I can almost kind of cruise 50 somewhat comfortably here, so we'll maybe just try that. See if we can just big toe it, just barely kind of push this thing along and just try 50 the whole way home. So it's a little less shaky. Flat spots must be working their way out of the tires. Rain has stopped. I got a little bit of water here on the windshield, but might start again. So much for that sunny day I was talking about there at the start of the video. These clouds rolled in quick, but I'm not gonna let it ruin my sunshine. This thing is running good. Likes the fresh gas. Oh, girl's just purring along now. It's running smoother and smoother. I don't want to push it. I don't want to pop on those tires. They're definitely questionable. It is a Toyo though. It is a Toyo, so I have a good quality questionable tire at least. Makes me feel better. Of course, I'm sitting in comfort here in the Buddy buckets. Oh, so perfect. Gotta love it. Armrest and everything. We'll go over these when we get home and go over the truck and its options and whatnot. I'll tell you guys about Buddy buckets if you guys know anything about them. It's a pretty cool option. Comfortable bucket seats. Alright, I got my buddy with me here, my Buddy bucket seats. My buddy Scoot. Chelsea just handed them off to me. She just went to work. She just went by her place of work. So I'm about halfway home. But I noticed that Devin was at his shop. So we're going to pull up and go bug Devin real quick before I make the rest of my trek home. Maybe check on some vitals and whatnot. All seems to be doing pretty good. But Devin's going to be jealous of the V6 hot rod Scoot. What do you think? Let's get up here and go bug him. I pulled off the main highway and went on the frontage road because well, I was holding up traffic. Let's just put it that way. Speed limit's 60. Power steering works absolutely beautiful, must mention. And it actually tracks on the road pretty straight. The steering wheel is just not centered, but besides that, she's cherry. Running better and better here. Pull up right next to Devin's truck in case I need to jump again. Yo! What do you think about that?
Hey, look at that.
Hot rod. Might need a jump. But no big deal, right?
Shit, man, she's running right. runs pretty good.
It runs, yeah.
It runs.
Well, it fired right up off pouring gas in the carb, and then it wouldn't prime, and then finally I pulled the thing out of the tank, and I got to prime, and it got to run really good.
Plugged the sock was bad or something.
Something like that. I don't really know because it didn't really seem to be that bad. But then after that, it finally ran, and it seems to be running pretty good. And let it run for a while, and then something happened. Like I got something stuck on the idle circuit. So for a little bit there, I could not get it to run, and it was like trying, ran the battery down, and finally got to fire off. And I idled it up so it would stay running, and like from like Monty's to like Tribal Trails, it was like bleep, 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 and got fresh gas in the rest of the tank. You know, filled the rest of the way up, and it's running better and better from here to there. So from there to here.
Does the vacuum gauge work?
No, it doesn't. It was kind of moving a little bit,
Fuel
but
economy?
yeah, I was going for it. Yeah.
Going for fuel economy?
Well, it already drank, I think, a quarter of a tank. Yeah, it was full, and it's down to 3/4 of a tank. It's a pig. Mind you, it ain't running the best. It's got probably water and the gas.
What
and
ratio is it?
I don't know. It's pretty steep because I only did about 50-55. The tires were shaking apart on it, and it was doing 2,500 at 55. So.
They're not like dry rotted.
No, they are. It's
Really?
got a big owie in it.
Right
Yeah.
there, yeah.
I was like,
I was looking at the best spot of the tire.
I was holding everybody up, come up the highway, and Chelsea was behind me, and I was like, well, shoot. I was like, let's just go on the frontage road, and then I came and I saw your truck's like, so I pulled in here and came to give you shit. Check the vitals, make sure she's not burning down. Look at this, Tacobin.
V6 power on.
V6.
Six?
V6, big block V6.
You're hemorrhaging brake fluid.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, I have one brake.
One brake.
One break.
One wheel. I got one working brake. So that's ideal. It's power though, so it works good. Tries to pull me. Yeah. And it's got power steering too, so it just yanks it right with that
Pulls
power
you right
steering.
into oncoming traffic.
Yeah, it's really nice. Well, we just did a light check, and I've got none. Well, I mean, this one doesn't work because it's
No, you
non-existent.
got one working.
I got one working light. I got one marker light that comes on, which is almost worse because then they see you have your lights on and you have nothing else. At least you don't have anything on. Well, he hasn't turned his lights on yet.
Excuse me, sir. In
Yeah.
your opinion, is this thing safe for the road?
Well, it's on the road. Doesn't look like it. We already passed by one cop who was sitting by the side of the road and didn't pull me over. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna hit the highway here because it's gonna get dark here in a little bit. And
Take the frontage roads. Take old Highway 7.
yeah, I think so. I think we're gonna go frontage road and on the old highway and just cruise around home.
Yeah,
But-
avoid 97.
I had to pull in and show you though because
Yeah.
you were there and I grabbed it.
And it runs.
You almost bought it. You were like,
Almost.
you were almost like, eaner, meaner, minor, mo.
This was the.
Could have been you.
This was second option.
Let's see
Option two.
if it fires up.
Dang.
It runs pretty good. Ooh. About that jump. Uh-oh. All right. I snuck by the cops there. Only got about another, maybe 15 minutes to go. And we'll be back at the shop. So, yeah. Got a cruising around 50, 55 now. Them tires, flat spots are nice and work dash, nice and smooth. I'm trying to push it though. We're driving on old oil. Questionable, everything. We got no lights. Our charging system obviously isn't working. I'm still needing to jump after driving it for an hour. But it ain't overheating. It's running smooth. I'm not complaining one bit. She's doing good. All right. 7/8 the way home. Pulled over at my mom and dad's here. I smelled something. It's like it was burning. I don't know what. But pull over and lo and behold, everything's fine. Had me scared for a second. I don't know what it was. It's like almost like electrical. But I don't know. It's all. This isn't hooked up. I don't know. It must be fine then, I assume. We're leaking brake fluid out like crazy. Probably need the master. It's probably the start of the brake issue. These things are always noisy. Every one I've had has been a little bit noisy. Some noisier than others. With water pump bearing, we can hear kind of rolling away. Doesn't sound too good. But these things are solid lifter though, so they're ticky, they're tappy, they're That's just kind of the nature of the beast. I haven't had one that's like been truly quiet yet. So first time I had one, I was like, oh, that's not good. And then now kind of, well, that's the name of the game with these. We'll get some good oil in it, change the oil for sure, and get some additive in it, and thicken it up, and see if it gets quiet up a little bit. Okay, well, it's not on fire. It had me concerned there for a second, but driving the rest of the way home now. Well, we made it. Shop is just up here right on the left. All right, got the old girl on the charger. Trying to get some juice back in her. I think it was literally starting to run out of total power, and it was starting to run out of basically, you know, power to run the ignition and the spark. Oh yeah, so here, Buddy Buckets. 67, 68 only option on these trucks. After that, of course, they went to the sports style bucket that was typically found in Blazers. Let me give them the trucks as well too, but this was the bucket seat option in a 67 or 68. Super comfortable, and as you guys kind of saw there, kind of versatile. We got a, you know, flip down. It's kind of an armrest center console deal. Flips up where someone could sit, of course, make it a 3-passenger. And then, of course, this is a cubby. It's got a spot to put your stuff. There's some cool stuff that was in here. I gotta show you guys. All right, well, it's raining cats and dogs outside. It is just dumping. I was gonna do another little kind of walk around and show some stuff in the truck. We'll have to do it tomorrow. Hopefully it's not raining tomorrow morning. So we'll finish the evening in here covering this, well, the gist of this. Lots of receipts, lots of records of since when the truck was new. Got the Protecto plate here, original Protecto plate. And it appears the truck had basically 3 owners. Initial gentleman that bought it and had it for its first several years of its life. And then it got sold to another guy who had it for many years. And it appears that he must have given it to his son because there's a bunch of receipts then, starting kind of the 90s time, same last name, different first name. I'm not going to go over every single one of these. There's a lot of information here, and I'm kind of torn whether this thing was, well, an absolute lemon that lived in the shop, or if all 3 of these owners were just really meticulous and took care of it all the time. And I think it's kind of mixed between the 2 of them. So the first owner, I got to say this too. It was sold new in Portland, it appears, per the Portland, Oregon, per the Protecto plate, and lived kind of there, and eventually, towards the later end of its life, more towards now, was brought up in the Seattle, Washington area. That's where the son owned it at. First owner kind of was in the Portland area, and he kept receipts. These are kind of mixed around, kind of mixed up date and timeline-wise. It's kind of cool. It's an emissions test in 1997, and it, what was it, passed? Must have passed. It wasn't deemed totally unfit for the road. It was today. It would not have passed emissions today. I can guarantee you that. The fumes and the toxic gases that were emitting from it were not eco-friendly. I'm not too worried about that, though. We don't got emission testing here. So he took it to, it looks like this place a lot, Harold Knack Tune-Up Shop, which was in Portland, Oregon. Kind of a cool name. It was constantly kind of keeping up on this in its early years of its life, or like I say, it was a couple years old. And you see here multiple charges for points, condenser, carburetor rebuild, this and that. Just kind of some basic maintenance and repairs, looks like. There's a few receipts for batteries kind of from this time period. And then when it got into the hands of its second owner, it appears that it had a, well, actually, excuse me here, looks like David. There might have been another owner here. I might have goofed it up. There might have been 4 owners. So this gentleman here, David Lee, Mr. David Lee, in the year of 1978, when he was owning it, it had some major repairs done. It must have had possibly a blown head gasket or some valve train issues. So it had one new head put on it at a shop called Rinks Automotive and Machine Shop in Brownsville, Oregon. And maybe this, I thought this at first was just the bill for, rebuilding the head, but it looks like this was actually to do the work as well too. So we labor to grind valves, rebuild carb, tune, and flush engine, repair muffler. $523.85. A lot of work, but that's also a lot of money, especially in 1978 on this, at that time, 10-year-old pickup that I don't know was even worth $1,000 at the time. It's kind of interesting to me. I'm kind of having those thoughts as I'm reading some of this. But what's crazy enough is we see this was in 1978, May 12th. Well, right after that, he took it to another shop, assumingly that didn't go well. And it was a diesel service unit. It looks like they specialize in GMC trucks and Peterbilts. It's kind of interesting. Portland, Oregon, maybe they're still around. Diesel Service Unit Company. And they did a head job on it, is what this kind of says here. Repaired the radiator, valve. Maybe it's the other head, because this is just for one head. And then they got another head done over here. And there's kind of a good description kind of written out of here of what they did to it. Place timing chain and reinstalled front cover. But then it went right back and had to have the water pump redone shortly later that year, a couple months later. So this thing, $118. This thing had over $1,000, you know, thrown at it in year 78, and not quite sure it was worth that, which is kind of interesting. And it looks like after that, David liked this shop, this diesel service unit, and he continued to take the truck there. I've heard of that before. You know, guys that had these trucks, having them fixed and worked on at diesel shops. And this proves to be true. For about 10 years here through the late 70s and up into the 80s, this thing, it looks like it lived at the diesel shop getting fixed. Had a lot of stuff done to it. It's just kind of interesting. I always love looking at these old receipts and paperwork and whatnot. Some more work done to it. It had a hitch they bought for it. Tons of tires. Got a lot of receipts for tires from a Goodyear tire store, as well as Les Schwab. Radiator getting refixed, record, the transmission getting serviced a whole bunch of times, new exhaust. We got multiple tires here. It's an oldie from Les Schwab, 1979, in Tigard, Oregon. Les Schwab Tire Center. We got multiple. Here's another one of them DSU Peterbilt. Another one here. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of funny to me. These all tell a story, and somebody felt it was needed to keep it with. They just kept a manila folder in the glove box, kept throwing them in there, and it's just kind of funny they stayed with this whole entire time. Since dang near new. We got there's something else. Oh, this is interesting. It was someone to repair. I don't know which shop, but it was like a printout from a like a machine. And it was intake manifold leak, and it was showing on 1 and 3. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. So this is when the son owned it, possibly the fourth owner now, not third, fourth owner. And he was doing some front end work, and he actually went through in one of these. Oh, it's this Midas one I'm getting to here. In year 2000, that son, he had the brakes completely redone at this Midas shop here for like over $1,000 worth of work in year 2000. So it's interesting to me because this thing had a lot of money spent on it. It clearly goes to show over the years being kept on the road, as any rig would. But there was times, you know, in year 2000, you're dumping $1,000 in brakes in a 68 GMC. That's a lot of money. That's like $3,000 nowadays dumping in this thing, and which wouldn't be like unfathomable, but it's just a lot of money. This is a lot of money at the time, and you know, it'd been really easy to just go buy another truck or a newer truck, and the guy didn't do that. I mean, eventually he did, I guess, but and this time leading up to that, he just didn't. He kept on working with what he had and kept fixing it. This is kind of cool. It must have had this at some point, and this is maybe for those little tie downs it has in the bed. This is like a here it's instructions for this like sliding like canvas canopy that it had at some point. I'm guessing that's why it has a little like hooks down the side. It kind of shows this was like for something for that. Kind of interesting. It's like an install instructions. They're like drawn out and kind of like cartoonish almost. Kind of cool. Jiffy brand, tube steel construction, tarpaulin, truck tarp canopy instructions. Kind of cool. It came with this little cool envelope here. We're getting to the good stuff though. This is the real cool stuff. Here we got this also, and there's some hints of this too. We see here an insurance card that shows 68 GMC pickup with camper, and it does have camper wiring all over it and a big old plug on the bed. So I think definitely had a camper in it at some point, was hauling that around. This is the good stuff, though. We got a build sheet here. I just covered one of these in one of the last videos, a 1968 Chevy pickup, that little 6-cylinder green one. And of course, we've got one here for this 68 GMC. Gotta love it. Fremont, California built. We see right down here. And it was built to Frank Newell, Pontiac GMC in Gresham, Oregon. But what's weird is this guy is made out to somebody else. So it might have went to a different plant. We got Merrill, or a different lot. Maybe the lot's traded truck or something like that. Merrill McKee, Pontiac GMC, 1301 Main Street, Oregon City, Oregon. So interesting. And we got a date originally placed in service, 4-10-68, which might have meant it sat around for a little bit. Maybe a dealership traded to another one, and then they did sell it. But of course, this is the build sheet. This is the line ticket, essentially, for which the truck was built upon. Try to get this camera steady and stable here and shaky. So this kind of is like a SPID sheet inside the glove box. SPID sheet is what is for referencing back upon during service. Service parts ID is what it's called. So it's for the owner and the dealer to reference for what the truck came with and showing, you know, what it was opted for originally. And so this, though, is kind of the same thing, but this is the reference running down the assembly line when it was being built, telling the workers what to put on. So this has a bit more information and kind of breaks it down into more codes and showing more this and that, when a SPID is a little bit more summarized, I guess you could say. So we see here panoramic rear window, which was standard in 68. It's kind of funny. You'll see 68 build sheet still lists that, even though it was standard. But 67, it was not. It was optional. Of course, small back window standard, big back window optional. Very next one, though, A50 bucket seats. That, of course, I just went over, or just mentioned earlier, outside there, the buddy buckets. That was optional. Those were part of the CST package in 67, as well as 68. This one here, though, wasn't any of that. It was just actually a base model truck, but it had the bucket seats. Somebody wanted the bucket seats, they got them. It's kind of cool. Most of the ones you do see in 67 and 68 are the CST or top-of-line GMC equivalent. Of course, you were not seeing that. It's just a plain Jane truck. It was just a blue pickup with blue bucket seats. So that's kind of cool. I like that about it. It's just always cool seeing those buddy buckets. It's 2-year only. They're cool. They look cool. They're comfortable. They're just, the usability feature of them is nice. Having a little storage to the cubby, and the nice have armrest. It's the only kind of truck of these that has kind of that center console armrest feel. The buckets came after these don't have that. They have a center console, but it's way too low to rest your arm on while driving. So it's kind of a unique thing to just these seats. Of course, we'll go over some stuff here. Vacuum brake boosters, it's got power brakes. And there we see the engine, V6 engine, 351. So this is the big V6, the biggest one optional. The 305 was the standard V6. 305 was the entry level V6, 305 cubic inch, same basic look, layout, and block everything. It's just one's got bigger pistons than the other. So 351 here, the bigger one, which is kind of cool. Hydromatic trans, of course, that's the automatic. Hydraulic steering, power steering. We got optional 16-inch wheels, dual horn equipment, push button radio, bigger radiator, oil lamp temp, medium blue metallic exterior, and then blue interior. So this is pretty cool, because one of the main reasons why, too, this is kind of really exciting, is that a lot of 68 GMCs don't have SPIDs and never did come with a SPID. You see some weird stuff happening with these V6s when it comes to these trucks. The clutch linkage exits the firewall at a strange spot. There's clearances in the firewall to fit these motors because they're so big. They're quirky. That's the best way I can put it. These V6 trucks are quirky. They're just unique. They feel not GM. They don't have that. The starter sounds funny. Sounds like a funny reduction starter or something. It's like neat, 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 you know, and you're used to a Chevy sound. It's more that like wah, 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 which may sound really dumb on the other end of this video. But when you hear this thing turn over, it sounds funny. It does not sound like a normal Chevy, because it's not. It's a goofy GMC with a funny motor. So I was really excited to find this and all this pile of receipts here. It adds up and adds another kind of like a layer of, I guess, authenticity to the truck, which is being kind of extra about it. But it's always cool to have this information. It's cool to have the practical plate, and cool to have the build sheet, and cool to have the records of all this service over all those years, because it shows the thing was cared about. I mean, it's kind of a goofy truck, but these guys who had it, they liked it. They kept up on it, you know. He was spent a lot of money on it, fixing that motor back in '78, like multiple times there it looked like of the same job or whatever was going on. And a bunch of money on brakes over the years. So the thing had 3 or 4 different brake jobs done to it in that 1 year. In year 2000, complete brake overhaul was over $1,000, and that's a lot of money. Exhaust, tires, battery, water pumps, radiators, heater core, wiper motors. If it was broken, they fixed it. And it looks like it broke a lot, but they fixed it and they kept it on the road, and that's why it's still here. That's why it didn't get crushed back in the 80s, because they gave up on it with that, you know, that head gasket or, you know, valve train failure it had. And they didn't just give up on it and it didn't go to the junkyard and get, you know, scrapped and parted out. It's still here today because someone kept up on it. So that's cool. That's cool to see. And yeah, it's still on the road today. Just drove 50 miles on the road today. And here's the Gold City trucks to see a little bit more work and be fixed up a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to put as much money and time in as these guys did. These guys went wild with it. And I'm kind of going, oh, geez, what's the plan with this truck? It will be for sale. I will tell you that much. But I've got some plans for it. And so we'll go over that tomorrow. Once it quits raining here, we'll get out there and kind of go over it with a fine tooth comb and make a little plan here for it. And tack it head on and see if we can get done with this thing and make it a little bit better of a run-around truck. All right, so I'm out here pressure washing and cleaning this thing today. And it's coming around a little bit. I don't know if I'm making it better or worse, I guess, but we're making a difference. See that blue? It's kind of coming back. There's just so many spots of primer and different colors of blue in this thing. It just kind of is always going to be a little ugly duckling, I think. But it's nice to see it have some actual blue, some color showing through. So, yeah, I'm going to run around the other side. I haven't done that side yet. And scrub the, oh, check this out. I cleared the bed out, got all those rally wheels that were sitting here out here, and had a bunch of plywood that was down. Removed the plywood to find remnants of the original wood bed floor kind of in place, but this giant, you know, skid of diamond plate put in place. So, yeah, there's that. It's solid. It'll hold stuff in the bed, assumingly that the rest of the wood bed floor is in terrible shape underneath. I'll have to get underneath and check it out, but it's kind of almost like it had like a little like maybe it's like if it's for the camper, quite possibly. They slid the camper in here and had like a little tie down there to keep it from sliding out, maybe. And this was to help the camper slide in place, maybe. I don't know. Camper wiring I was talking about. It's got kind of a plug right in the bedside. We got some stuff running up and tons of wiring in the engine bay that I think most was coming to this, and the trailer wiring out back. I'm probably just going to kind of declutter all that. I've got to kind of start on it. Yeah, here's the bed floor. So it's better than a giant gaping hole, I guess. We've got a big old sheet of diamond plate in here. They color matched inside. So I started out this morning by cleaning in here, and actually was pleasantly surprised. I pulled up the floor mat and all the junk you had down there and got some pretty solid floorboards in this old girl. It's kind of a crusty girl in some areas, like the roof up here has got a little bit starting, and well, a lot of bit starting. It's actually got a big old hole right there and kind of runs all the way across. It's more solid over here, but rusty towards that side. And it's got it down the kick panels in the usual areas. But the floors are beautiful, and actually all the floor supports down below look pretty good. They're not just a rotten mess. So yeah, it's kind of cleaned up a little bit. Ripped that steering wheel cover it had on there off of it. Just kind of give everything in here just kind of a cleaning it needs it. Clean the seats up a little bit, rip that little seat cover head off on that side. I think that was the driver's seat. I see how torn up it is right there. And they just got to where it was worn, and then they swapped it and put because you can unbolt them and they're the same seat basically. And they put the driver's seat over there and brought the better passenger seat over here. I mean, hey, it works. It could be worse. Yeah, I had to, when I was down there getting this thing running, I had to rip out, it had a giant like carpet wall back here that was not factory. It had the little factory piece in place. It was kind of just right here in this area, but ran over the top of that with another giant piece of carpet, like that blue, almost like kind of shag carpeting. and I had to kind of rip it out. Well, it's got tons of little screws. They screwed it in place with, so I gotta get all these little screws and get them out of here. Kind of annoying, but whatever. Could be worse. Kind of an interesting sliding window. The latches are on the outsides, and it opens. Kind of more uncommon version. You don't see those too often. I've only had one or two other trucks that had ones like that, but yeah, it's cleaning up is what I'm getting at here. Looking better. So I'm gonna keep pressure washing and get the other side kind of scrubbed down and cleaned up, and then of course the engine bay I'll do here too. It needs a good cleaning. And then of course we got to address something that is, well, the biggest eyesore, and that is those blue steel wheels. I cannot stand that. That is like, that makes my head hurt. And it's got 16.5s in the back, I just noticed, actually, with dry rotted, smaller 16.5s than the front 16s tire size. And those are dry. It's just, the tires are no good. Not only are they ugly, but they're, you know, not in good shape either. So wheels and tires needs to change. So I got something cooking there. With any luck here in the video, we'll have something different on this thing. All right, check that out. Yeah, I knew it was gonna clean up nice. You could tell it had lots of orange paint underneath there. Looking good. I did a bunch of wire decluttering. I kind of opened this up to pressure wash, and then there was just so much wiring everywhere. I just had to do that for a bit, and I've got like 90% of it taken care of. It had stuff running everywhere for these little lights. It wasn't a factory side marker truck, which I should have known that when you're down there at Devon's. One side marker was working. Well, this truck never came with side markers. Well, they had like done these little makeshift homemade ones, like to plug into down there, and had the wiring running all over the place. And anyways, wire decluttering, did a lot of it, and they're looking pretty respectable in here now. I got to do some fixes over here on some of them. Aren't connected right, and wouldn't make sense as to why the the amp meter gauge wasn't working. But this is looking pretty good. Gonna try to see if we can get a water pump coming for it. Of course, it's still no good. Possibly even order just a fuel pump because of the fits that one was given a guy. I'm not convinced it's, you know, not still trying to go out on a guy. And oil, and order oil filter, and get some oil for it. And there's something else here that I needed to do. That was I might try to get a different hose. This is silly. The factory, they were a 2-piece, but this is like 3 and cut and spliced, and I might try to make this just look a little bit better because it looks like crap. But yeah, I'm gonna grab my part number on my oil filter down there before I run to town and grab one, because who knows what this thing has on it, right? And I doubt the parts store does either. So okay, yeah, well, girl's cleaning up pretty good. Check out this side. A lot of that blue paint kind of popped through after I scrubbed the top layer of crustiness off of it, so it's looking more blue. Still like 5, 6, 7 shades of blue, but it's blue now. It's not faded gray plus blue, and well, there's still some faded gray on it, but I'm trying to be optimistic. It is looking better than it did. Oh, I was drawing a blank there. I said radiator hose, I want to fix that, but master cylinder, I'm gonna get one of those coming, because I think that the start of our braking problems is happening, well, at the start of the system up here. It seems like it's not getting a proper push, or it's kind of bleeding off, and it appears as well it's leaking. It is leaking. So I'm gonna get one of those coming, and we'll get that on there and attempt to bleed the brakes and get them working better than they are working, and possibly do the brakes. We'll see. But starting with that. All right. Now we've got some on our hands here. We got an old hot rod looking tough old pickup. Wheels and tires are everything. Wheels, tires, paint, stance. And a C20 that you put some wide mags and some chunky tires on is proof of that. This thing was looking like a, I don't know, dilapidated, wrinkled up, just a worn out old grandpa truck, kind of wimpy. And look at this. Looks like a muscle truck now. It's still dilapidated looking in many ways, but look at So I did some horse trading with my buddy Jesse, and he had some wheels and tires, well, these, that I thought would go good on this. Better than, obviously, totally better than what I had. And I had some ones that he wanted, so we made a little trade yesterday. So I'm happier than crap for it, because this thing looks light years better than it did. These are pretty big. You can't put any bigger tire on a C20. And I had to do a little bit of slight clearance on the front with the old hammer. Give her a couple tappy taps on the fender, front lifts up here, but it clears. It clears. So, got those on, cleaned those wheels up. I made sure they fit, clearance the front to make them fit. I dug around. I found this set of center caps like out in the parts yard at my dad's place in a pile of trucks, and like found one, then took me over to find the other three. Went and got some lug nuts and played around here for half a day, cleaning those up and putting them on. And on top of that, bled the brakes, and it had a bunch of air in the lines. So I think they're gonna be better. Chelsea and I are gonna take it to town here, go run some errands, and go cruise it around and see if it's any better, and see how it drives on these new wheels and tires. New to it wheels and tires. They're not new by any means. They're certainly, oh, well, at least a decade old. That's okay. The truck's, well, 6 decades old, and the tires are, well, 2 decades old. It makes sense. And fitting looks so much better. That's for darn sure. Let's go see how it drives. What do you think, Doobie? It looks funny, that little light in the front. Wait till you see it. No, it wasn't working, and the wiring was a mess, so I kind of disabled it, but it just still looks funny. It's like a little ornamental thing in the front. How's the brakes? Are they working better? Yeah. Okay, good. It's good, because they were not working well before at all. Cruise is pretty nice, actually. It's not like all over the road. These tires probably need to be balanced or rebalanced or something, but it actually like tracks pretty straight. The tack's kind of cool. You see the tack, but yeah. All right, we just got back from town. Thing drives so much better. It was, well, the brakes were not working. It had one front brake, truly, and now it stops great. It's straight, it's true. Stops really well for drum brakes. A lot of times when they're kind of old and untouched on a truck, they will always kind of pull, you know, you never get them to quite adjust right, or you got a wheel cylinder that kind of bleeds off. You really got to go through them all and really kind of play with them to get the things to stop true and straight. And when they do stop, they stop nice. It's just kind of more upkeep, and they can be more finicky to get them really working right. But this thing, now that they're bled, it's great. I mean, I ordered a master cylinder for it, and I'm not sure I'm even going to put it on. They work fantastic. So just had a bunch of air in the lines. I just figured it'd been sitting so long, I figured it was just more than just that. I figured it was more falling apart. But it had that brake job done in 2000 for the receipts. And when I had pulled the wheels off, the drums all looked still, you know, fairly fresh and new. So I don't think it's had a lot of miles since then. I think that was kind of its last hurrah, was early 2000s, and it sat around a bunch after that. But yeah, it's a lot more roadworthy now. It's a lot better than it was a couple days ago. So Napa didn't have my oil filter the other day, and I think they're gonna have it tomorrow morning, so I can finally change the oil. And they also, we gotta try something about the water pump, because they weren't showing it. So we're gonna look up some other stuff. these things are just dang near obsolete. I mean, there's not a lot of guys driving them, around anymore, let alone when these things were new. They were kind of a odd and quirky engine even back then. And so here we have one dang near 60 years later after it was built, still on the roads, and trying to find parts for these is kind of a pain in the butt, especially compared to working on anything else with GM. This is like working on an AMC, or I mean, it's worse than that. It's like working on a Hudson or something, and trying to just go get parts at the parts store. It's just not, it's not a common thing. So with any luck, hopefully I'll be able to find a water pump for it here. It needs one. That's my next big kind of concern mechanically. Now that the brakes are working and basically sorted, I'd like to really get a water pump on the thing. And of course, change oil tomorrow. And I also did today, while we were kind of doing the tires and the brakes, stuff like that, I did more decluttering the wiring, and I had a bunch of stuff kind of run back to that little camper plug on the bedside and stuff past that, and it just had a rat's nest. The main harness running, the tail harness runs from the firewall back to the taillights. Big old section of spliced and rusty, and so that's, I think, why my tail lights and rear lights aren't working. And then my headlight dimmer switch down below here, it is all crusty as can be, and the pigtail going to it's kind of looked like it got hot or something. So I found some culprits as why I think the lights aren't working. So tomorrow, oil change, hopefully source a water pump, get one coming, and we'll work on some wiring and see what else we get into. But yeah, today was a good day. It's looking way, way better than it did a couple days ago, and driving way better too. All right, I'm out here changing the oil on this thing finally this morning. Check this out. This is kind of oddball. I got to share with you guys. This is a drain plug on this thing. It's quite large. It's an 1.125" head, and I don't know what size thread. It's big, but it's kind of like an old man doodad here. Somebody drilled the drain plug and put a plug in the drain plug of just kind of this weird, like, brass little fitting with, I don't know. It's super goofy. I put a wrench on this, and the whole thing just came right out. And that's in there. You could tell somebody made it. It's all off-centered. It's not even drilled straight. And then I noticed while I was down there, the transmission has one on it as well. It's got a bung somebody welded in the pan, and it has a similar looking contraption on it. Speed drain, I guess, but it didn't need that because it already had a drain plug. I don't know. Whatever. Goofy. Oil is super black. It's coming out, and I've got nice fresh oil to go in it and a quart of Lucas. Hopefully we can get those solid lifters to be a little more happy and quiet up a bit. I'm sure that old oil wasn't helping. Okay, we'll get this done and get on to some wiring. All right, check this out. Replace the dimmer switch. And we've got lights. I had a feeling that was a culprit. And oh, key's not on. Wipers. Got the wipers working. Oh yeah. So, rear lights aren't working still though. I redid that, well, I undid, I should say, that rat's nest of wiring down there. All the connections, turkey clips, and tape, and just cleaned the wires back together, but it's in pretty tough shape. I got nothing back here still, out back. So I'm gonna flip the truck around and get test light out and start playing around. But yeah, we got front lights, so we're doing better than we were. Now onto the rear. All right, so I got this thing flipped around, trying to get these rear lights to work. No dice. I've got no power back here, it seems, and I'm blaming the this intermediate harness that I basically patched as a culprit still. I just need to get another one of those, get a new one or a good used one, and put it in the truck, and then go from there, because I've got no power back here. So no big deal there. But underneath here, it's looking all pretty good. I just checked the rear diff fluid. It's nice and full still, and not super old or stinky. Old Dana 60 out back. Look at this big old leaf pack they built up. Huge. That's why it's got the rake going on. It's got, well, this is the end of the factory pack, and they might have even added one or two of those in there. in between, and this is added on, this is added on, and of course overloads on top of that. And that, of course, was to help haul that big camper this thing had on it back in the day that we have kind of had a few hints towards, obviously the wiring and the registration saying camper. I think all these trucks had a camper in them at one point, whether, you know, it was a short period of time, long period of time, what the heck they did with it, but it seems that camping was a craze and everybody's going camping with their pickups. Nice dual exhaust, actually. It actually sounds pretty good. It's got big old mufflers, so it's pretty quiet. It's all in pretty good shape. It's not too old. It looks all right down here. I mean, shocks aren't super old. Oh yeah, look at this bed floor. It's actually in like pretty good shape. It's a little torn up here at the back. Got some missing chunks and whatnot, but I think they just put that steel like diamond plate on top just to kind of protect, and like I was saying, maybe like help the camper slide in and out, which again was just a guess. But yeah, looking good down here. Need to get these brake lights working. That's on the list, but we need some parts. We need some intermediate harness and go from there. I need to get some more bulbs too. I don't have any extra bulbs right now. I thought maybe it was just that, but I got the test light out and no dice. So we will revisit that. I did run to town and get a few more little things for it. Got a new fuel filter because I was still rocking that steel one that had on it, and a new air cleaner element. And as we see here, my freaking master cylinder is still leaking, so I got to replace that. So the new one of those is going to be here tomorrow. So the brakes working good. Only work better with the new master, so I'll get a new master on there still. I thought maybe I was going to not do it, but we got to do it. We can't have a leaky master. And then the biggie, the water pump. So haven't had any luck tracking one down locally from one of my parts stores. Both in town couldn't get me one. You can get one online. They just seem to be kind of recently remanufactured, rebuilt, and available. Anywhere from $200 to $300 for just a water pump, and it ain't this whole thing. It's just this little guy right here. So a little spendy, but it needs one. So just going to have to get one coming for it, and probably take a couple weeks to get here. So in the meantime, I can pick away at some little things, but that water pump is kind of our next big thing, and also be nice to source a fan shroud for it. Didn't have one with it, and I'm assuming maybe they just busted up or something, but get a fan shroud for this thing. And I actually I think I might have one. I did discover last year that they basically are the same as a big block V8, or I should say they're very similar to a big block V8 one. And so I think I have one more big block V8 one that would work and at least have a shroud. I think I ran into the fact that the diameter was just a little bit off, a little bit big, but a shroud is better than no shroud at all. This time of year, it ain't gonna be running hot, but it'd just be nice to get one on it. So yeah, water pump. We'll just have to get one coming and bite the bullet and buy a $300 water pump for this thing. But I'm not upset. It's running good. The oil change helped out with the little ticky lifters just a little bit. You know, like I was kind of saying when I was on camera there, I said that these things are solid lifter and they're kind of always noisy. I've had 3 or 4 of these now as runners, and each one of them, none of them were quiet. This one's kind of towards a little bit the noisier side, but this kind of nature of the beast, they seem to all be kind of noisy. And I've heard the guys, I was reading on the forum just a little bit ago about you know, adjustments and whatnot, and even when they're fully adjusted and right, they still seem to make a little bit of noise just because they're solid lifter. But saying that, I'd like to maybe try and adjust the valves and see if we can get it to quiet up a little bit and make sure it's just not out of whack. I don't think they're that far out if they are anything, but might be able to get them to quieten up a little bit if they are a little bit loose. But kind of nature of the beast. I still have never really heard one of these motors that was totally, you know, entirely quiet. So yeah, big block V6, 351. Pretty strange. Yeah, you don't see them every day, that's for sure. Presents problems like such. I mean, a water pump for a small block Chevy is like $50. You know, it's available at any corner store. We've got $300 water pump here, right? 6 times the cost, and basically unavailable. You can't get one. Not readily available, that's for sure. And you know, a special order only item. So kind of silly. I think I'm gonna have to order. I will I'm just thinking now, if I'm going to be doing those, checking those, the adjustment on the lifters, the valve train assembly, I'm probably going to need some valve covers, because gaskets, because I mean, if it goes off, I know my luck, they're going to split and fall apart. And yeah, maybe I'll find a place that deals parts for these things, and we'll just get a water pump from them, as well as a set of valve cover gaskets, because those also, I'm sure, are not available. So, oh boy, what do you do, right? This is kind of the, well, the territory of these things is obsolete and oddball and almost unrecorded. You know, you look them up, like a big block V6, and all of a sudden it's trying to take you either 351. You look up that, oh, 351, that's a Ford engine, you know, or it's always trying to tell you something different. And just getting right down to it, and the truth about these is kind of something that's hard to do sometimes. I gotta put a headlight adjuster on this side. It's broken, and the headlight's all pointing towards the ground. But was glad I at least got those working. And like I say, we'll get a intermediate harness in this thing and get these tails working as well too. That's right, it's for sale. $4,600. Located in Orville, Washington, 98844. You guys got a pretty good look at the thing in the video, and if you guys are interested, hit me up. Hit me up on here in the comments, or message me on Instagram. A good place to get a hold of me. Gold City Trucks on there on Instagram. So yeah, she's ready for a new home. 1968 GMC C2500 351 big block V6 truck. All right, so I was just saying there, putting the old girl up for sale. I got a list of things that I might do to it still. Basically waiting. We'll basically be waiting on that water pump to show up, and kind of hit with a round 2 of work here, tidying up some loose ends. Kind of got a list. We'll just kind of summarize real quick. So obviously needs a water pump. That master cylinder is going to show up tomorrow. I'll put that on. Figure out better upper rad hose, because it's just, I don't like it. It's no good. Like I was saying, possibly adjust the valves. Check the valves, basically, see if they're out of it. Excuse me, got the hiccups. Check if they're out of adjustment, and then adjust them if need be. Passenger door handle, the buttons pop through it. Needs a door handle put in it. Heater controls inside. The heater is on and it works. Heater core seems happy, just some kind of a visual outside inspection. But the controls are broken. The levers are broken, typical. These set of heater controls put in it. Get those brake until it's sorted. Probably just gonna go find, like I say, another intermediate harness like I was talking about. And then let's see here, fan shroud. That's what I had next. I was kind of talking about there. It'd be nice to get one on it. The steering wheel, it's not quite centered, and it's just enough off to where it's just kind of annoying. So it'd be nice to try to center that steering wheel. Interior small bits I got down here. The thing has a like a Sony cassette deck in it, which isn't terrible. I mean, it's kind of 80s looking. I mean, it's original radio would be better, or a delete plate, just something to kind of cover up the hole. But yeah, get that working with some new little box speakers or something. Be cool to have a cassette, at least some kind of tunes. Put a factory radio in the hole, or a delete plate. That's just kind of one of the things to tackle there, just to make it look a little bit better and possibly have some tunes. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the cigarette lighter down over there, and I got the wipers working like I showed earlier. But the only knob I have is a deluxe, so I don't need to get a deluxe for this one to make it match, or get a normal for that one. That's all I could find lying around. That's all I could easily find that was just lying around. Oh yeah, I wanted to show this. I was talking about it earlier in the video. Show it real quick. This little sticker here. I guess I gotta do it from this side. Fremont Boat Company. It says reserved parking, good for 72 hours. So this thing, that's down in Seattle, right there on the water. And so this thing was launching a boat, and yeah, I'd be interested to see what kind of boat it was. It'd be cool if who knows, maybe an old picture will turn up of this thing hauling a big old boat or something. And the sticker looks like it's pretty old, pretty cool. It definitely lived a good stint of its life. Looks like through the late 80s up to the early 2000s in Seattle. So kind of cool. They had some time right down there in the city and launching a boat and parked up in the parking lot. And yeah, it's just kind of cool to think about. This thing's kind of had a cool life. It's definitely lived an interesting life kind of all over the place. And a camper hauler, a boat hauler, and now it's well, it's ready to go back to work for someone else to do something with it, you know. Tune up. I didn't do anything to it. I got this thing run down there initially, and it fired right up on whatever, you know, points it has in it. It does look like it's not too old, is why I kind of didn't really have this up on the priority list. It is running smooth. Every once in a while that carb seems to kind of have a little flutter or a little issue, but it really runs pretty smooth as far as the ignition components seem to be. So the spark plug wire is still pliable and nice still and everything, and the spark plugs look super old. I looked at them in there, in that goofy spot that they're at. That stuff seems pretty good, but it still wouldn't hurt to just, you know, maybe pop that cap off, take a peek in there and see what stuff is looking like. The cap looks kind of fresh and whatnot, and it seems it had that stuff kind of just done to it, but it wouldn't hurt to kind of check that stuff out, just double check it, and also, like I was saying, maybe check the timing. I'm concerned it might be a little bit too far advanced. Every once in a while it kind of has a hard start, it seems to be, and I thought it was just the battery, which it was part of the problem, was the battery is just kind of a piece of crap. I got the battery charged up really good now, and every once in a while it still does kind of a hard, kind of labored start. So whether that be timing, too much of it, or the starter getting weak, or the battery still being, or a combination of all three, it'd be nice to get that sorted out. And just like I say, make sure the thing is tuned up and running as good as it can be. But it's not far off from that. It's running pretty darn good. I also wrote down, fuel pump. I mentioned earlier in the video too, with the way I was having troubles initially getting it to work and get the thing fired up, I wouldn't hurt just to go order one and just throw one in the glove box, because I mean, maybe that one's on borrowed time, maybe it'll last another 50 years, I don't know, but it wouldn't hurt just to have one in the glove box as a peace of mind. Part of the interior small bits, the thing I kind of had written down there, seatbelts. It's got a broken, busted up one kind of almost broken up, busted, and then the center one is a 67 belt, so it must not have had a center belt factory, or they got ripped or torn, or I don't know, lost or whatever. But this one here is 67 with that the airplane kind of flip up latch style, and then this funny male end on it. So it's actually not bad shape, but it's essentially wrong. And like I say, this one here, where's it at? Oh yeah, see this guy, the typical broken plastic. And this one over here isn't. Oh, it was just a button. It was kind of sticky and broken. So got some other blue seat belts to throw at it, a little bit better ones. Little differences, like I say, like that. It makes all the difference in it just being that much better of a truck. Just fixing little things like that. Oh, and one more interior small bit. It needs a window regulator on this side. It still rolls up and down, but it's like trying to like kind of fall off the track, and it's just not happy. So window regulator, driver's side. And now I'm just thinking about it and looking at it. I want to get rid of these stupid locking gas caps. I said it earlier in the video, on the start of the video, I said I hate these things. Here they still are, so I'm going to probably just get 3. I hate the look of them. And I hate the fact that you lose the key. You know, it's just a pain in the butt. You're drilling the this makes my head hurt, and having 3 of them is like, ugh. So yeah, just get 3 normal gas caps for these and make them normal, so you can just put gas in it and not have to be playing around with a lock. Drives me nuts. I also need to find a fender emblem for this side, and I say fine, I have tons of GMC fender emblems, but of course this being a 68 and 69, the last year of it, they list what engine they have in the side fender emblem here. When a Chevrolet started doing that basically in 69, GMC did it before Chevrolet, 68 here, and we see it says 2500 V6. Now for inline 6 it says nothing, it just has like lines, because that was the base engine. If it's a V8, of course it says V and it says 8. But we got a V6, so I think I may quite possibly have one of those fender emblems somewhere out at my dad's in the truck pile. I remember like finding it, like taking it off a fender, like just kind of hanging on, because I knew it was unusual, basically 68, 69 only, And of course, there's tonnage in it too, so it's tonnage specific. So we need a 2500 V6 fender length at our side, but I might have one. I may have one. And if I could find that would be pretty wicked. So fingers crossed there. We'll see what we can find. Well, there we have it, guys. Gonna wrap the video up. It's a good stopping point. Like I say, putting Old Girl up for sale how it is right now. In the next couple weeks, if it doesn't sell, I'll get that water pump and other list of stuff done to it. It'll do kind of a little round two and be up for sale for a little bit more money. It looks a heck of a lot better than it did, and it's on the road again. It's not dead sitting there in the field. So yeah, V6 big block, 68 GMC, back on the road. And well, we see it here parked next to its little brother or little sister, you want to call it, 72 GMC, half ton, normal motor of a small block Chevy. It would be interesting if they actually ran those motors all the way into 72. You'd certainly see a lot more about them, I think. And they'd be kind of more common. I just, 72 production was really high. And I just feel like if they had a little bit longer run production with that engine, maybe they'd be a little more, well, prevalent and known about today. Gotta love the 4 headlight. They have a good look to them. And of course, we got the 4+1 on the old 68 GMC. Oh, I think it's so goofy. Cracks me up. I really wanted to take it off, but it is screwed to the grill. And it has like a big mounting pad, and I think it's left a little bit of a dent in it. So I think it'd be uglier off with the hole in the grill than with that thing still in place. And it is kind of cool. It has a level of kind of old school, like goofy accessory cool to it. JC Whitney Cyclops light. I'm sure they advertised it as, and they were happy and crap to put on this thing. Pretty funny. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate the support. And as always, more 67 to 72 content soon. Thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed the V6 content, I got a link in the description below on this video here. This is a truck I brought home last summer, 67 GMC with a V6 in it. Also very quirky and weird, kind of like the one in this video. So yeah, check it out if you guys enjoyed the V6. Link below on this one. All right, guys, thanks again. Have a great day.